Good evening, Gotham. This is Jack Ryder from GCN, here with another report on Gotham's recent crime wave. The return of ex-District Attorney Harvey Dent and Mr. Freeze don't seem to be the only or the last of these recurrences. Local authorities have been receiving reports of Catwoman sightings. There hasn't been a sighting since early last year, but it appears as though she's slinking around once again. Since the blundering GCPD can't seem to catch her, looks like it's up to the Batmaniac and his second-grade sidekick to stop her thievery. Don't you all just love this city?
Rain patters down roughly on the roofs of Gotham City. A storm seems to be in the cards for this night, but the lightning has yet to start cracking. A shadowy figure leaps gracefully from rooftop to rooftop, not slipping once. The figure stops right across from their target. Crystal's diamonds. They draw out a whip, sling it at a light post, swing down, and land perfectly on their feet. Their pale green eyes scan the store from top to bottom, while their mind works a mile a minute. Motion security system inside, cameras covering every counter. Alarms that'll go off if anything is even chipped.
Piece of cake.
Catwoman pulls out a small gadget of her making, walks around the perimeter, placing down small transmitters along the way. Once the building is surrounded, she presses the button on her little toy, and just like that, the alarms are cut off and the camera's live feeds are nothing but static.
Bingo.
Catwoman now simply walks up to the door, pulls out a lockpick, and begins her work on it. The lock clicks and the door easily swings open. She scans the interior cautiously, and once she's sure it's clear, she steps in and looks for her prize. Glimmering jewels and shimmering necklaces all shine radiantly as she passes by. Eyes widened. She controls herself, though, as none of those trinkets pale in comparison to her true target. A black opal necklace. She finally lays her eyes upon it.
Come to mommy.
Catwoman engages her claws and carefully cuts the glass containing the pendant. The glass is sliced into a perfect circle, which falls into Catwoman's hand. She sets it on top of the case and pulls out the chain. It glints in the light pouring in from the streetlights near as she holds it up to her eyes, gratifyingly smirking.
Perfect.
Just before she makes her pristine getaway.
You were planning on paying for that, right?
Of course. Isn't this where the line starts?
The police will be here any second now. You'll surrender if you're smart.
Now where's the fun in that? After all the trouble I went through just dressing up for this little occasion?
Batman draws a batarang ready to throw it, and Robin mimics his actions.
Well now, boys, this is getting a little too serious for my liking. I think I'll just take my leave with this pretty little prize.
Selina, don't.
Using first names now, eh, Brucey? We'll be seeing each other again soon enough.
A flabbergasted expression rapidly spreads across Robin's face as Batman launches to end her plans. But it's too late. She tosses down a smoke pellet which quickly engulfs the store in black gas. Before Batman can reach her, she's already gone. The vapor dissipates and the two are left alone.
Batman, how did she...
I'll explain later. Back at the Batcave, the Batmobile enters through the hidden waterfall, followed closely by the Red Wing. They stop and exit their respective vehicles. They both make their way to the Batcomputer to have a discussion about the Catwoman situation.
So Batman, how does Catwoman know your identity?
It was soon after we met that she managed to figure it all out. She was a newcomer in Gotham City, shortly after my first year as Batman. A beautiful woman with shoulder-length, jet-black hair steps out of a cab with a few canvas suitcases in hand. She pays the driver and zooms off. The lady admires her new living space, a modest but charming place. She takes out the keys from her pocket and walks up to the third floor. She finds her room, 325, opens the door and steps inside. The room is a soft beige with a nice dark hardwood. Fairly bland, but with plenty of opportunity to add some of her own flair. The woman sets down her bags.
New city. This ought to be fun.
In the veil of the night, Selina changes into her Catwoman suit, ready to return to her old thieving routine. She scours the city for something of value when something catches her eye. A jewelry store just waiting to be robbed. Especially the ostentatious advertisement claiming they possess the largest diamond in all of Gotham and only one left in stock.
Last one. Today must be this cat's lucky day.
Catwoman sneaks over, blending into the shadows. She analyzes her surroundings to make sure no one will get in the way. She gives herself a smirk. Could it really be this easy? She gingerly climbs up the side of the building and finds a skylight, the perfect entry point. Her claws slice clean through the glass in a wide enough circle for her to drop in. She removes the now circular piece of glass, but drops it in shock when a face is there waiting for her.
Ah! Jesus! Way to give a girl a heart attack!
I wouldn't take off without paying for those if I were you.
What can I say? I need a little thrill in my life. I got tired of that whole goody-two-shoes girl act.
Your lifestyle will get you into trouble.
What if I like trouble?
It looks to me that you're already in it.
Sure that's not you?
Catwoman launches into action, kicking Batman square in the face before he has time to react. Batman plummets down to the store below and sets off the motion detectors within. As he gets up from his fall, he quickly glances up in hopes that Catwoman would still be there. But she has already made her escape. Batman grapples out from the shop and scans the nearby buildings. Nothing. Catwoman has faded from sight. The next day, Bruce Wayne heads for his very own company's building, the incredible and giant Wayne Enterprises skyscraper. His mind still lingers on the encounter he had last night with Catwoman, wondering if he'll ever see her again. He pulls into his parking space, stops his car, and exits. He finds himself distracted while he walks up to the entrance. Not paying attention to what's surrounding him, he accidentally collides with a black-haired woman, sending the both of them sprawling to the ground. Terribly sorry about that. I didn't see you there.
Oh, don't worry about it. Mistakes happen. I must say, getting knocked into by a handsome guy isn't the worst way I've started off a day before.
That gets a smile out of Bruce, and his cheeks gain a little color. A little later, Bruce can be seen talking to Selina in the foyer of Wayne Enterprises, a beautiful marble-colored spot with a fountain, perfect for having a seat and communicating. So, how long have you been in Gotham?
I actually just got in a few days ago from Chicago.
Really? What brought you here?
Well, I actually got a job offer as a secretary at Shrek's office building. The one just across the way from here.
Max Shrek? He's certainly a character.
Has he always been so...
eccentric?
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yes, he has. You should see him at office parties.
Can't wait.
What do you think of Gotham so far?
Oh, it's been interesting, to say the least. I've gotta ask, is your city the only one protected by a flying rat, or does he have some sort of league of other animal lovers to protect the country?
Oh, Batman? No, he's exclusive to Gotham. He sort of just popped up out of nowhere a year back, and since then he's been cleaning up Gotham streets.
Must be quite a nuisance for criminals.
He doesn't make it easy for them, no. Selina moves closer to Bruce and turns her bright green eyes to his.
You wouldn't want to continue this conversation over dinner, would you?
Tonight?
Perfect.
Selina takes out a piece of paper and pencil, quickly scribbles down her address, and hands it to Bruce.
Pick me up at 6. I'd love to try the best Italian food Gotham has to offer.
That can be arranged.
I'd better go before Mr. Shrek docks my pay. See you back at my place?
Till then. Selina gets up from the fountain, gives Bruce a quick wink, and walks off without another word. Later that evening, the dark sky is cloudless and the temperature is perfect for a nice stroll in the park. The weather is perfect for a night of romance. Bruce's jet-black car drives to the east side of Gotham. He's looking forward to spending the evening with an exciting woman. He quickly looks down at the paper Selina gave to him with her address, making sure he's headed the right way. He turns his eyes back to the road and soon finds her apartment complex. He finds a parking spot not too far away from her building, takes a bouquet of red roses from the back seat, and begins his walk to her apartment. He enjoys the nice breeze blowing towards him, and even allows himself to smile. He walks up the stairs to the 3rd floor, passing by an old man enjoying the night as well. Bruce gives him a short nod, and the old man smiles in return. Bruce reaches Selina's door and goes to knock on it, but it swings open just before he gets the chance.
I thought I heard someone coming up. My ears haven't failed me yet.
You're looking great. Are you ready?
Not half bad yourself. Let me just go grab my bag from inside real quick and, I'll be ready.
Before you do, Bruce pulls out the bouquet and hands it to Selina.
Oh, how romantic.
Selina blushes a little as she accepts Bruce's lovely gift.
I'll make sure to put these in a vase. I want them to last as long as possible.
Selina goes back into her apartment, and Bruce patiently waits outside as she finishes getting ready for their date. A few moments later, she reappears with a smile on her face and a purse at her side.
All right, let's go paint the town red.
Bruce holds out his hand, which Selina gladly accepts. Together, they walk down the steps and out to the open air. Bruce leads her to his car, opening the passenger door for her, and she slides in.
Why, thank you, sir. You know, most rich guys I've met are usually mannerless snobs.
I guess you haven't met the right ones.
Yeah, but, I think I just did.
Bruce gives her a small grin. She's gotten him to smile more in one night than anyone else has in the past year. He hasn't had much of a reason to smile as the days drag on, becoming darker and darker. He's relieved to finally have some more light in his life. Their little date becomes the first of many, as there's barely a night where they don't see each other. Bruce is developing feelings for her, and Selina hates to admit it, but she is too. Each date has been cut a little short, though, as Bruce's responsibilities as the Guardian of Gotham have been calling to him every night these days. As Batman, he has been encountering the crafty Catwoman more and more during the night. She mainly just watches his crime-fighting doings from afar, but Batman always knows when she's watching. After taking care of a mugger and leaving her tied up for the GCPD to take in, he grapples to the ledge where Catwoman watches him from.
You know, Bats, it's fun watching you every night. Way better than staying at home and watching television alone.
What are you playing at? Don't you have anything better to do than just observe me?
Let me guess. You want me to go steal something so you can turn me in.
I should turn you in right now for breaking in that other night.
And yet you haven't. I'm too quick for you anyways.
Are you sure about that? Batman lunges at Catwoman, but she is indeed too quick for Batman. She's already a few steps ahead of him, dashing off the building before he lays a hand on her.
Yeah, I am.
Batman runs to the edge of the building in hopes of catching a glimpse of her before she vanishes into the darkness, but he is too late. 3 weeks after their first date, Bruce and Selina sit at a lovely Chinese restaurant. The only light sources are red paper lanterns, setting an amorous tone.
Well, this is a lovely place. See, that's one of the perks of dating you. You know where all the good restaurants are.
That's one of the few benefits of being in Gotham so long.
I've gotta ask, as someone who's lived here all his life, why do you stick around? I mean, I know your company started here, but is there anything really tying you down?
To be honest, sometimes I'm not really certain why I haven't moved on. In fact, a few years ago, I did leave Gotham and went on a sort of spiritual trip.
Really? Huh. Never took you for the type.
It gave me a better understanding of who I am and what I need to do. I was drawn back to Gotham like a magnet, and I came back with my newfound sense of duty to its people.
What about all those criminals polluting the streets? Sure, big cities tend to have high crime rates, but Gotham's is just insanely high.
The GCPD and that new vigilante have been doing their best, but there are still plenty of good people here who need our help.
They're right about you, Bruce. You really are a philanthropist. I don't know what you see in someone like me.
Selina lowers her eyes, almost as if she's ashamed of her past. Bruce, however, gives her a small smile, reaches out and softly puts his hand on her chin. She looks up at him with her emerald eyes, causing Bruce's heartbeat to elevate a little. I ask myself the same question after each date we have. You're one of the best parts of my life, Selina. I don't know what I did to deserve this.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't feel so lucky if you knew about my past.
We all do things we regret. It's just a matter of changing and redeeming ourselves. I've done a lot that I'm not proud of, too. Selina leans in and gives Bruce a gentle kiss.
I'm glad I ran into you, Bruce. It's like it was destiny or something.
I agree. I've never been so thankful to crash into someone like that before.
Can't say I was thankful for the crashing into part, but without it I might not have met you, so that's just fine with me. Is it the office again?
Looks like it, yeah. I swear, they can't run the place without me.
It really does seem like that. You've been called away every night.
Sorry about that. I wish I could spend more time with you, but everything has been so crazy lately.
I understand. It's just part of the gig of being a top businessman.
Bruce flags down the waiter for the bill and begins to get his wallet out of his pocket. But Selina grabs his arm.
Don't worry. I've got it. You get going to that important meeting of yours.
Thank you, Selina.
You'd better think of a way to make it up to me, though, business tycoon.
Bruce gives her a smile and gets out of his chair. Selina rushes up and gives him a long hug before he exits the restaurant. Bruce didn't notice, but while they were hugging, Selina put a small tracking device on the back of his neck.
All right, let's see where you really go off to.
Bruce hops into his jet black car and zips down the road. He hits a concealed button on the dashboard, and it turns the radio into a communicator. Fill me in on the situation, Lieutenant.
We've got reports of armed men wandering around the jewelry store on 8th and William Street. Commissioner Loeb has a man in the area, but I fear he won't be enough.
I'll be there. Bruce steps on the gas, and his car hastens off. With the press of another button, Bruce's seat leans back, and the autopilot takes over for him. The Batman suit rapidly fits over Bruce's body, and soon enough, his seat rises back up. Batman takes the wheel. He parks his car a little bit away from the jewelry store and makes sure no one is in the area to see Batman stepping out of Bruce Wayne's car. When he's satisfied that the coast is clear, he grapples up the nearby rooftop. He locates the jewelry store Gordon mentioned and soon finds the criminal team. Batman watches and listens, waiting for the right opportunity.
You sure this place is easy enough to rob? Remember what happened at the convenience store, huh?
Yeah, but it's not gonna go like that. What are the chances that it happened again? Look around, do you see Batman anywhere?
But that's the point. We're not supposed to see him.
What do you do? Get a grip. We're wasting nighttime.
It was his fault!
Whatever. Let's just get this over with already.
The goons draw their weapons and discreetly walk around to the front of the building. One goon starts picking the lock rapidly, showing off his skills as he quickly unlocks the door.
All right. Once we enter, silent alarm goes off. After that, we'll only have a few minutes to grab as much as we can, then we skedaddle. Everybody ready?
I was ready an hour ago.
The goons open the door and dash inside. Their eyes widen at the sight of all the shiny crystals on display. They greedily slam their guns into the glass cases and snatch necklaces and rings alike.
See? Easy going, man.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Ah!
Batman leaps down from the neighboring building, ready for a fight.
Oh, shit, it's the Bat! I told you he'd show!
The frightened goon tries to run away, but Batman is too fast for him. He knocks him down with a few quick blows and focuses on the other two criminals. One unsheaves a knife and the other gets in a fighting stance. Batman makes the first move, sending a kick at the knife-wielding enemy, but he slides out of the way before Batman makes contact. He slices at Batman, catching him in the arm.
Hey, Batbrain, get a load up!
Batman punches the goon before he can finish his taunt, sending him sprawling back to the ground. The other goon launches at Batman without a second thought and actually gets a punch on him. But that's the only one he'll land. He tries for another, but this time Batman catches his fist. His confidence drains, and now he's filled with pain as Batman releases blow after blow onto the goon. The last remaining goon is down to the count. Batman pulls out a cord from his belt and ties up the three for the GCPD to pick up. Once he's certain they're all secure, he gravels away to the nearest roof, which just so happens to have Catwoman on it. I knew you were watching me. Why?
Hey, I need to get my entertainment somehow.
You're obsessed.
And you're full of yourself.
Catwoman turns away from Batman, and he steps closer to her. You can't deny it. I see the way you look over me. You're tangled in the mystery surrounding me.
Yeah, and I see the way you look at me. I've got your eye, haven't I?
Of course you have. You've proven to me time and time that you're not to be trusted.
It's not just that. It's the draw of what you can't have. You're the hero. I'm the villain. We can't be together, yet you wonder, what if? I say that we can't be together, but in reality, we are.
What do you mean? Catwoman slowly removes her mask and whips her black hair away from her face. She turns around to reveal who she is to Batman. His eyes widen in surprise when he sees her face. Selina Kyle.
Surprised, aren't you, Bruce?
You? My girlfriend's a crook?
That's right, Bruce. And don't try to deny it either. I have proof. Remember that long hug back at the restaurant? That wasn't just a goodbye. Check the back of your neck.
Batman's hand instinctively shoots to the back of his neck and feels what Selina is talking about. A small tracking device. He feels a rush of anger towards himself for making such a stupid mistake.
How could I be so foolish? Why would you do this?
Let's be honest. You're not exactly the most trustworthy either. Keeping your identity hidden under that mask? Not like I'm really one to talk, but still.
What was so suspicious about me to do something like this?
Really? You have to ask. You kept leaving early in our dates. Sure, 1 or 2 early departures would have been understandable. Businessmen of your stature. But Bruce, it was every single date. You should have known I would have grown skeptical of your nighttime whereabouts. I was afraid you were seeing another woman, but, turns out it was something far more interesting.
I see. Let me ask you this, Selina. Why do you partake in these immoral decisions?
Immoral decisions? Okay, short answer. Why work a dead-end job barely living when I could have the thrill of making big bucks the not-so-legal way?
You're better than that. I know you can bounce back from this. You just need to be led in the right direction.
Yeah, well, we can't all be perfect little angels.
Let me help you through this. You know what you're doing is a mistake. You will get caught one day. Why live a life in worry with such dire consequences when found out about, when you could be at peace through abiding by the rules? Catwoman starts stepping closer to Batman.
And how can you live such a boring life? Sure, beating up criminals has its pleasures, but haven't you ever wanted to take a walk on the other side? Think about it. With your abilities, the cops wouldn't be able to ever take you down. You're squandering your potential, Bruce.
The people of this city need me. I'm their watchful protector. Without me, it would descend into chaos, and criminals like you would run the city.
Oh, maybe you'll see it my way one day. If you do, be sure to give me a call.
Don't think you're getting away again.
Oh, I'm already gone. Your secret's safe with me, but if you tell, I tell.
Catwoman quickly pulls her mask back on, gives Bruce a wink, and jumps off the top of the building. Batman dives after her persistently, not willing to let her get away. Catwoman uses her whip to swing to another structure, landing perfectly on it. She continues running and hopping from rooftop to rooftop. Batman is starting to gain on her. Batman wafts away the gas apace, but when it all clears, he's too late. Batman runs to the side of the building and looks down, thinking he can locate Catwoman again. But he has no such luck. She's gone. Bruce's tale is over, and Dick looks a little shocked at it all back in the Batcave.
Jeez, so you dated a thief? Can't say I've ever had a girlfriend who turned out to be a cat criminal before. Ouch. Sorry, Bruce.
Let's focus on capturing her once and for all.
Fair enough. But how?
Here's how it's gonna go. Later at Diamond Dynasty, a store not too far away from the previous robbery, Catwoman peers through the store windows looking for something worth her while. Her eyes light up when she spots a sizable pink diamond on display. She does her usual bit, checks for any passerbyers, gets her gadget out, and works steadfast. In no time at all, she breaks inside and sneaks to the expensive jewel. She begins to cut her way through the glass when ropes wrap around her. There's no escape this time, Selina.
Wanna bet?
Catwoman's sharp claws slice through her bonds, and she attempts to dash away, wanting to prove Batman wrong. Robin fires his grappling hook at the door, causing Selina Kyle to trip on it and fall over.
Ugh! Maybe you're right.
No quick getaways, I'm afraid.
Not a cat person, eh?
Well, you clearly are. Literally.
The police arrive at the scene moments after Batman and Robin finally captured Catwoman. A police officer cuffs her and leads her to their van.
I'll be seeing you around, dynamic duo.
Don't count on it.
So are you two, like, over or...
I'm not going to acknowledge that with a response.
But you just did.
Catwoman is loaded into the back of the police van and sped off to Blackgate Penitentiary, likely to get a high sentence for her dastardly deeds. Crispus Allen is on the scene too, about to leave when he decides to instead go talk to Batman and Robin for a second.
Not a bad job today. I can see why the commission's so eager to work with you two. We've been trying to catch up for a few weeks now.
To be fair, she's a tricky one.
Hey, you two better keep an eye on Bullock. He's been ranting about you guys lately.
What else is new?
The two depart from the scene without another word. At Arkham Asylum, Joker tosses a rubber ball at the wall and catches it each time in his hands. Very entertained by this simple pleasure. The lights begin to flicker in his cell and Joker stops. His attention turns to the door, slowly creaking open. Standing there is a man in a Scarecrow mask.
Ah, is it Halloween already?
Very funny. Look here, Joker. I'm tired of waiting. We don't need all these lowlifes to take down Batman and control the city, and I'm going to prove it.
Oh, now that sounds like fun. I can't wait to see how it blows up in your face.
You won't be laughing when I finally accomplish the one thing you've never been able to do. Defeat